Japan has an obesity rate of about 4%. America sits closer to 40%, and before you say genetics, only about 3% of Japanese adults even have a gym membership, so they're not out here grinding on treadmills or meal prepping in Tupperware containers. They're doing something else entirely, and it's working so well that their population consistently ranks among the longest lived on the planet. Meanwhile, you've been dragging yourself through another calorie counting app and wondering why your midsection still looks the same as it did 6 months ago. The difference isn't willpower, it's method. And once you understand what Japan actually gets right about fat loss, you'll realize you've been making this way harder than it needs to be. Let's get something out of the way first. You can't target belly fat. Your body loses fat everywhere at once, and your genetics decide which spots go first and which hold on the longest. So the real question isn't how to burn belly fat. It's how to lose fat overall without making your entire life revolve around it. And that's exactly what Japan figured out. Every principle they use leads to the same thing every diet comes down to: a calorie deficit. Japan just made it feel effortless instead of miserable. The first thing Japan does differently is how they eat. And I don't mean what they eat. There's a phrase in Okinawa called hara hachibu, which roughly translates to eat until you're 80% full. That sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but think about how you actually eat. You're scrolling your phone, watching something, barely tasting the food, and by the time your brain registers that you're full, you've already blown past it by 300 calories. Your brain takes about 15 to 20 minutes to catch up with your stomach. So when you eat fast and distracted, you're essentially flying blind. Okinawans short-circuit that delay by stopping before they feel stuffed. And research backs this up. Studies show that people who consistently practice this tend to carry lower body weight and consume significantly fewer daily calories without ever counting a single one. No tracking app, no food scale, no anxiety over whether that banana pushed you over your macros, just paying attention. The second piece is something Japan doesn't even think of as exercise, because it isn't. It's walking. Japanese adults average around 6,500 to 7,000 steps a day, and in cities like Tokyo, that number climbs even higher, because the entire infrastructure is built around public transit and walking. You walk to the train station, you stand on the train, you walk from the station to your office, you walk to lunch, you walk home. None of that feels like a workout, but it burns a staggering amount of calories over the course of a day. This is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it's quietly responsible for more of your daily calorie burn than any gym session. A 45-minute workout might torch 300 calories if you push hard, but the difference between a sedentary day and an active one can be 500 to 800 calories, just from moving more throughout your normal routine. Japan doesn't have a step count obsession. They just built a society where sitting all day isn't the default, and their waistlines reflect it. The third thing is portion size, and this one is almost laughably simple. Japanese meals tend to come in smaller dishes with more variety. Instead of one massive plate piled with food, you get several small bowls and plates with different things in them. This isn't just aesthetic. It tricks your brain into feeling more satisfied because you're experiencing more flavors and textures, even though the total volume of food is less. Your eyes see abundance. Your stomach gets just enough. Compare that to the way most of us eat, which is a giant portion on a giant plate that we feel obligated to finish because it's sitting right there. You don't need to start eating exclusively Japanese food, but swapping your dinner plate for a smaller one and splitting your meal across a couple of bowls instead of heaping it into one is a deceptively powerful change that reduces calorie intake without making you feel deprived. Now, here's where most Japanese fat loss videos fall apart. They'll tell you to drink green tea like it's some magical fat-burning elixir and leave it at that. Green tea contains compounds called catechins. And yes, there is some research suggesting they can slightly boost fat oxidation. But we're talking marginal effects. Green tea helps, but mostly because it's a zero-calorie drink that replaces the sugary iced coffee or the soda you'd otherwise reach for. It creates a pause in your day. It's warm and satisfying without adding anything to your intake. If you hate green tea, water does the same job. The point isn't the specific beverage. The point is removing liquid calories from your routine, because most people don't realize how much they're drinking their deficit away. That's the actual Japanese secret. There's no exotic protocol or ancient fat-burning trick. It's a lifestyle that naturally keeps intake modest and movement high, without turning every meal into a math problem. You're not fighting cravings through sheer determination. You're just living it a way that makes overconsumption harder and movement easier. Pick one of these, not all of them, and start there. Small shifts done consistently will always outperform the perfect plan you abandon in 2 weeks. And if you want to keep learning how to take control of your fitness, click one of the videos on screen and I'll see you there.